In this episode, we discover how a fellow professional photographer turned a really frustrating copyright battle into a profitable new revenue scheme, and his brilliant marketing strategy based on simple blogging.
Welcome to Commercial Photographer, your guide to marketing, creativity, and growth. This is a podcast that helps professional, commercial, brand, and headshot photographers navigate the competitive world of commercial photography with practical advice and actionable strategies to grow your business.
Hi Marcus, how are you?
Oh, I'm very well, thank you, Sam, and welcome back from your holidays. I hope you had a great time.
Thank you very much. Excellent, yes. Catch up on some sunshine and time with family and stuff. There are three key things Nico is going to share with us from his journey. The first is how his personal experience with copyright led him to find a proven way to get paid when your images are used illegally. Second, you'll hear why his unconventional approach to blogging has become his most powerful marketing tool for finding high-value clients. And finally, how he discovered a business model that is far more profitable than the common low-margin route. So stay tuned, because this is a fascinating story with some brilliant advice. Today we have a guest, Marcus. So today we have Nico Trinkhouse, who is an award-winning travel photographer. Hi, Nico. Welcome to the show.
Hi, Sam. Hi, Marcus. Nice to be here.
Hi, Nico.
Excellent. So we have lots to talk about. People can go to your website and take a look at the photos. But I think one of the things that first caught our imagination talking to you is copyright, because this is a big issue for all sorts of photographers, isn't it? And kind of protecting your work. And my understanding is this something you've kind of become a bit of an expert on.
Yeah, indeed. So it's like my whole journey as a photographer was already starting with the topic of copyright, because when I was just doing it as a hobby in 2011, 2012, I did a blog. I published a photo there, one every day. And then at some point I had a photo that went viral, and I got a press agency deal with it, and they sold it to a couple of newspapers, also in the UK. And I was like, I want to know, like, where does this show up? And the agent said, like, we can tell you, but it typically takes like 2 months. And they were printed. So I wanted to have the printed magazine in my hand, to see my photo being shown up there. Like, I mean, it's an amazing thing when you're starting out. And so I used the Google image search to find it. And there was like, I think like 70, 100 infringements of like big hotels and everything. And so ever since then, I look a lot into where my photos pop up, and
So this
taking care of
this
the
wasn't
copyright.
just kids doing school projects and putting them in their PowerPoints. This was big companies lifting your photos from the blog and using it.
This was like big 5-star hotels, airlines, travel agencies, pretty much everything.
That's crazy.
How long ago was this, Nico? Sorry, how long ago was this?
Like, this was 2013 that I found this out the first time.
Wow.
Okay. And so how can you do a search for an image? So when I use the Google search for images, I kind of type in, I want a picture of a dog, and it comes up. Can you put in an image and it finds one's the same?
Yeah, exactly. So if you go to the Google image search, you can drag and drop a photo into the search bar, and then basically it does a reverse lookup, and it shows where does this show up.
So I guess that's the first thing for photographers then, is awareness that this is an issue, and have a bit of a look. And for you, obviously, that first time, it was obvious which photo to look for.
Yeah, exactly. The one, like I had one where I caught a lightning striking the TV tower in Berlin.
The Alexanderplatz one.
Yeah, that's
a
great image. Yeah.
Thank you.
Was there a lot of planning in that, or was it?
Well, let's come to that in a minute, Sam. We're going to talk about planning in a minute. Okay, just keep keep to this copyright idea, because we've still got a lot to dig in on this. So basically, there you are. You discovered your image has been used by 70 people through Google. What happened next?
Yeah, what happened? I mean, it's a really long story. That I started to take back then I was still based in Germany, so I took a lawyer in Germany and we tried to do something, and then we ended up going to court because the companies ignored us, and it was against a Polish company that stole my photo. We went to the court in Germany and we lost that initial case. So then I figured, I need actually lawyers also in Poland because I need to go to Polish court to take them to court there. And to find the lawyers wasn't that easy because as a single photographer, you're not having that much, leverage. You're not that interesting to a lawyer, and like it's not an easy thing. So I started to see, okay, can I help my friends? Can I look up their portfolio on the internet? And so it kind of started to grow into a business that I'm now running. It's called PhotoClaim, where I'm helping photographers to find where are the infringements, and then B, to kind of have this whole network between photographer and lawyers so that we bring the two together and ideally resolve the copyright issue and get the photographer paid. That's ultimately
so
the goal.
It's about getting the photographer paid rather than getting the image removed, or is it kind of depend on the circumstance?
We want to achieve both, right? So we want to achieve that the photo is removed and that the photographer gets compensated for the time during which it was used. So always just for commercial, we don't care anything about like if somebody privately uses it on Facebook or none of that matters. But like if it's anything commercial and like a business making money with it, then it needs to be gone and the photographer needs to be paid.
And is that a global business, or do you specialize, or do you just specialize in certain areas like Europe?
Let's call it anything in the Western Hemisphere. So we do Europe, we do the US, we do Australia.
UK? Do you do UK as well?
We are doing a bit in the UK as well. So there right now, I'm personally doing quite a lot with the small claims track. It's a bit difficult for PhotoClaim to do something there because of you have a different way of representing yourself there versus representing via an agent. So it's easy for me as a photographer to go to the court in the UK, but it's a bit tricky to figure out how to do this on behalf of other photographers.
I see.
So that's one where we're still
do it themselves.
Yeah.
So because you don't get the legal fees and stuff.
Right.
Yeah. Oh, okay. You were saying that you don't worry about the private use and it going on social media. Is there not an issue that if somebody puts your photo on social media, effectively the copyright for that photo has been given to Facebook? Because that's kind of how the copyright rules work on social media, isn't it?
Well, I mean, if I upload my own photos to Facebook and Instagram as well, right? Yeah. So what this means is that I give Facebook and Instagram a license to show my photos, right? I mean, it's obviously it's on their servers, so they need to have that permit to do. And, for other people to share those posts is then also allowed. And I mean, that's all fine. So the whole different thing is like, if you download it, upload it again, that you cannot, but like, I'm not really worried about the rights that I'm giving to Facebook and Instagram because they're not going to sell those photos.
No.
So
Photographers do worry about that. So it's interesting. You're just going, doesn't matter. They're just using that. Don't worry about it.
Yeah. Like for private, like this is where I draw the line basically. Privately, if somebody wants to enjoy the photo, share it with their friends. And, that's also the marketing part of it. It's like, why not?
And the type of photographs that you take, Nico, are, commercial. You can just see. I can just totally see how many people can be breaching your copyright. What's your success rate? I hope I'm going to like this answer. I'm dreading asking it. What's your success rate?
You mean to get an infringement into somewhat of a settlement? It's about like 30-40%.
Oh, that is quite low. Okay, yeah. Wow, I'm surprised.
I thought it could have been lower.
You thought lower, Sam? Is that right?
Well, yeah. I mean, I think doing that well is probably, that must be quite an achievement. There's a lot of loopholes and a lot of cost and so on. So if people work with you, how does it work with the cost? Do you do a kind of no win, no fee type of thing, or do they pay you to go and do this stuff?
Yeah, exactly. It's a no win, no fee. Ever since we started at 2014, we started as a business. Ever since then, there are a few other competitors out there who all have the same model by now. And like, it's really like depends where you go. What we focus on is we're like a rather boutique service. So we help ideally photographers that just have too many infringements to cope with. So that, if you have 1, 2, 3 infringements, like Pixie is doing a good job for this as well. If you have like 10, 15 a month or so, you're probably better off working with us because we save the photographer just so much more time. Because for me personally, I have like 30, 40 infringements in a month and I wouldn't cope with any of the other services. It's like
That's crazy.
That's crazy. Oh my gosh.
It is. Excellent. Okay. So maybe, Marcus, we should...
Just one more thing.
We'll let you... One more question about this.
Sam, it's a bit of a broader question, and it is to do with what you were saying about your images going on social media, Facebook, Instagram, etc. Now, because in the UK, we've got a bit... They're loosening the copyright on any images or trying to, that goes on social media, so that AI can mine it more successfully. But I know in Europe you've closed down on that a lot. Any thoughts on that, Nico? Any advice to our government?
No, this is the big elephant in the room that everybody asks me about it because I have a little bit knowledge of copyright, but like anything that comes up with the AI, this is going to be so tricky.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
Okay,
like I can't tell you more than anyone else.
Okay, we'll move on. We'll move on, Sam. Yeah. So what was you going to say, Sam? What were you saying?
Well, I was going to say, and then with the kind of photography, if we move on to the photography side of your business, it's kind of, it's a lot of travel images and then you're selling those as fine art prints and kind of exclusively licensing those images. Is that right?
Yeah, that's correct. So what I'm really looking for is like, what I enjoy most, absolutely, in the business of photography is like to print my photos and then to sell some high quality limited editions of those. And like I do a lot of photographs of empty cities and like spaces like city halls and bigger towns. Like they attract me for some reason.
Okay.
And I always go there. I always go in the early morning and like capture the town hall in some beautiful light. And that turned out to be actually working really well for me because there are many people getting married in those places. And then they find this on Google and like, oh, it's my 20th wedding anniversary. I would actually like to have that on my wall. And so it's like, this is what really drives me of like knowing like, oh, if my photo can go on your wall, like this keeps your memory vivid. That's really what I love to achieve with it.
Okay. And why did you decide to go for that and knock down the stock route and not think, well, these are going to be really popular destinations. I could put this onto stock and I could get lots in from, multiple uses. Why did you decide that other use, that kind of limited, more exclusive line?
Actually, I think I have to give thanks to my wife because I do remember that like in like probably 2015, 2016, I had a bit of like artistic creative crisis, and I was like thinking like how to do it, what to do. You get like so little positive feedback for the photography, right? Because I know obviously like they're stolen a lot, but like they are stolen more than they are being sold. So like how do you get positive in here? So like at that point I was like, maybe do stuff like selling it on such poster portals and where you rather sell a lot but have like low margins, or doing the same as like doing stock photography. And like I was like discussing it with her and like she's like, there's no way you can do this. I mean, she knows how much time even goes in for me into a photo, right? Like one of the photos, like I edit them a lot afterwards. So the post-processing alone is easily 1 hour, 1.5 hours in a single photograph. Yeah. So there's just no way I can, put it online and sell it for 5 cents. Like with stock photography wouldn't work for me at all.
Nico, let's move on to this condition that you've got, which you call mind blindness. Tell me about that.
Yeah, it's something that I discovered just like a few years back. And that is that I cannot visualize anything. So if I close my eyes and think of a beach, all I see is black. So there's no image that I'm seeing. So I can dream, like at night when I'm sleeping and I'm dreaming, I do see images. I do see like the movie, right? But during the day, like there's nothing I can do. And I never knew this is unusual, right? Because like, how could you? Like, that's how you live. Yeah. So at some point, like my wife and me did a visualization exercise, and we were like, it was something like turn around the room and point somewhere, and then like remember where you was pointing, and like imagine yourself spinning further. And then like she was like, oh yeah, I could do this. Somehow I spin more, and like I was pointing there, and I could see that. And I asked her like, what do you mean with like you see? And she's like, oh, I saw that, like, but like see, like, yeah, I could see the door. It's like, why not? What's wrong? And I'm like, I see black. I see nothing. And so then I started to look into this of like, what is this? And it is something that 1 to 2% of the population actually have. And ever since then, I started to talk a bit more about it. And I noticed I also don't hear anything. So I don't like, I hear you, but I cannot like have a song in my head, right?
Oh, okay.
So it's like I would have the concept of it, so I would be able to sing to myself and so on, but I don't hear anything. And likewise, I have a concept of something that I could theoretically see. I remember what a beach looks like, but I cannot visually see it. And
a friend of mine, actually a very good friend, suffers from it, and they told me about it a few years ago, and it's like I just couldn't quite get it. But how does that work with your photography?
How does that work with planning photographs? Okay. Yeah, it's the same question, isn't it, Marcus? How do you plan the shots when kind of, or do you have to be there and think about it? And
I literally have to be there and think about it. So it's like I do walk a lot with the camera open and look on the viewfinder to see like how things change and like where to do it. And even when I do my photo shoots, it's like, because I do a lot in the early morning, and typically I go out the day before just to walk around, go through the whole city to know where is what, because I need to see it with my own eyes in order to get an understanding, like how do I want to shoot here? And it's like, it doesn't work without it.
Give me an example of how it works. Look, let's take this image of yours that you've taken of the Colosseum with the sun shining right through the center of it. So that's obviously the kind of thing. That's how I would pre-visualize it, thinking, okay, I want it to look like this, look like that. How did you go about taking that shot, if you remember?
This really wasn't that planned. So this was really like me going, like I had a different shot planned that morning, and then I saw like, the sun is still going up nicely. So let me walk a bit further and let me have a stroll around the city before it gets really busy. And then this photo is a typical result of what I'm doing in the morning, that I have like one shot in my mind that this is the one I'm going for. That's the one I'm standing for and waiting. And then as soon as the light hits, typically I'm going like quite frantically walking around everywhere and like trying to find other nice shots, other nice compositions. And so this is exactly what happened there, that I was actually I was once surrounding the Colosseum just to see like from all angles, like where is the light nice. And then I noticed there being a few spots of light on the ground. And so then I just know, if there's sun in just a spot, there's a potential for doing something with a sun star. And so I quickly rushed into that spot, and it was a handheld photo then, just to move around and get the sun star in a good angle. And like this was then really just having a few seconds to be able to take that photo, because then also the tourists started to move in. But so this is where I'm just keeping my eyes open and see like, okay, where is the sun coming through? Where can I have potentially things like that? But my mornings are like, they're very calm and meditative until the light hits. And then when the light hits, I'm just running around and try to capture as much as I can.
Yeah, that sounds like a typical, landscape or travel photographer. What's the big tip you can give for taking great landscapes or travel photographs?
Yeah, it is tough. But like, for me, it's like to have a plan, but then also to stay flexible with it. So this is like, it usually doesn't work out well for me if I go somewhere where I just have done no research about before, right? So it's like I need to go and like have a bit in my mind of, okay, these are like potentially the things that I'm doing. So when I was in Rome for a week, I would have like, I'm not saying shot list, but like a destination list of like 10 buildings, 10 monuments or so, where I'm like, okay, I want to take photographs of those. So I'm like, this is probably working best in the morning. This is probably working okay in the evening. Planning a bit with photo pills. Where will the light coming from? And just to kind of put like, okay, this is something I can do from a rooftop. So sunset is fine because the people are not going to be disturbing. If I want to shoot the Colosseum, I know I have to be there in the early morning, because for sunset, forget it, there will be too many people in the way. And so I'm planning the trip with putting down my destinations of like, okay, these are the things that I would want to visit. Is this something I have to do in the morning? Is it something I can do in the evening? Or is it potentially even something that I can do during the day? Because quite a few of my popular photographs are from the middle of the day, when many photographers are just like not doing something, but especially interiors are perfect. So if I go into churches, that's great. And even otherwise, like blue sky photography can sell actually really, really well, because that's what travel agencies want to sell their customers. They want to sell the sun. And for us photographers, we're always like, oh, sunset, amazing. And all those colors in the sky. And I'm like, okay, but like for me, there's sunrise, then there's golden hour, and then there starts the money hour.
Money hour.
When it's just blue, beautiful sky, and like that works.
Oh, cool. That's a great tip alone there. That's a great tip, actually, Nico. Because people normally put their camera away, or photographers put their cameras away at midday. But so you basically go inside and look for that blue sky around about midday.
Okay, and then in terms of this exclusive licensing, how are you going about finding people that want these pictures? What are you doing to get the photos out there to find those customers?
Yeah, so they find me. So
okay.
I've like a few sources. The main one being my website, my blog. So
okay.
Ever since I started, I did a blog. So for every photo that I publish, there's a blog article.
Wow. Okay, so
and that works.
Every single photograph has a blog.
Yes. Every single photo has its own dedicated article. So if you look at my website, the blog section of it, it's more a travel blog than a photography blog, you can kind of say. So it's really where I provide more background information on the places that I visit, because I'm a traveler. Like the photography for me came after I started traveling already, and then I was like, probably my mind blindness, that I'm like, I need those memories, right? Because I can't visually memorize any of my past trips. So I needed the photographs to keep my own memories with it. And so therefore it all came together this way. But due to the website having such structure, every photo is explained and every location is explained. And therefore those photos are coming up quite high in Google. And then for a few cities, I'm like on the first page of the Google image search. And then due to the vibrant nature of my images, they typically stand out. And then so companies that want to have a photo that stands out, they will find that one. And then they look at it and like, oh, that's not a typical stock image. And then that's something we can do with. So clients that, want to have it for a book cover, and like, you don't want to have a stock photo on your book cover, it's like that doesn't work. If that same image pops up like 100 times on social media, it's like that doesn't have the same value to it. And so that's what I'm aiming at.
Amazing. So Marcus, Nico is our absolutely perfect guest, because what he is saying is that blogging is absolutely amazing, which I spend all my time saying, and that perfectly creative, amazing photos are also essential, which is what you're always saying, Marcus. So I think Nico is our perfect guest.
No, he's got a great gig going there. The photographs the images are absolutely fantastic, top notch. You're obviously making income from it. You've got other sources as well, allied to the copyright, allied to photography, where you've got income coming as well. Good job. 10 out of 10 for you there, Nico.
Thank you, Marcus.
Okay, so we're just coming up to wrapping up the show. What's next for you, Nico? Any dream destinations you're planning?
So yeah, I'm still working on getting all Europe in my portfolio.
Okay.
So this is like, for me, the series I'm calling Europe Rising. So which is getting the photos in the early mornings in Europe, but it's also kind of like I started with that ever since the Brexit talks kind of were happening, because I'm so personally so European.
Yes.
You know, I'm from Germany.
Yes.
My wife is Polish.
Yes.
We met in the Czech Republic. We live now in Portugal. So it's like, I love Europe. And so for me, I remember this time that there was also in Germany so much negative talk about Europe that I was like, I want to show actually the positives of it. We can, like, you know, politics aside, like that's stuff that can be argued about and everything. But like in terms of our common cultural heritage as Europeans, that's something I love, and that's something we should never forget. And that's kind of what I'm trying to highlight a bit, and what I'm trying to achieve with my photography. And so I'm going to go now to actually to Paris, because I haven't done photos in Paris yet. I'm focusing so much on all the rather less known areas. But then there are still like a few countries, Malta being one of them, Belgium being another, that I want to visit soon, to really start to have the overall project being more and more completed, to then find a way to exhibit it somewhere out in the real world. So this is kind of what I'm looking for, next steps of how to get more exposure in the real world, where people can see the things not just on their screens. I'm a bit tired of everything happening on social media. So this is for me like the next steps.
I mean, that's a great why you have given there, Nico, to the reason how you've put your work together. It's not just random. You've done it for a very specific reason. I think that's really just worth dwelling on there. It's like a super large personal project you've got there, isn't it?
Yeah, it's probably going to be a lifelong project, because for me, it's really about discovering the regions in Europe. It's like I'm so in love with that. Of you have it's such a diversity that we have in this small corner of the planet, that you go into the car, you drive for 2 hours, and you're in a different space. It's like Germany is not one German culture. It's like the north of Germany is very, very different to the south of Germany. And I remember it completely being in Lithuania some years ago, that we were just going to a little castle 1 hour outside of the city, and we went to a restaurant there. We went an hour out of the capital of Lithuania, and went to a restaurant. And in the restaurant, we noticed this is like Oriental food, but it's like it's a regional restaurant, but very Oriental food. And I was like, how come? What's happening here? And then it turned out that the people settling around this castle were actually was a Turkmenic tribe from the time when there was the Polish-Lithuanian Empire, and the king had to retreat all the way from the Black Sea back up to Lithuania and the Baltics. And as a thank you, he allowed those horsemen that were coming with him and protecting him to settle around the castle. And ever since then, you have like your own kind of microculture in just this little lake region. And like, this is the stuff that I find so fascinating, what we have in Europe. It's like.
So just to recap, here are the 3 things we learnt from Nico today. Firstly, we saw how his personal journey with copyright led him to a brilliant way to get paid when images are used without permission. So now you know that it's possible. Secondly, we heard how his specific approach to blogging has become his most effective marketing tool for securing clients who pay for quality work. And finally, you heard how he discovered a business model that's far more profitable than the usual route, and how you can apply those same principles.
Brilliant. Well, Nico, thank you so much for being with us. That has been amazing. And Marcus, I will see you next week.
See you next week, and thanks again, Nico.
Thank you, Sam. Thank you, Marcus. Pleasure to be here.
and thanks for listening to this week's episode. If you want to make sure you never miss a show, head to our website and sign up for the newsletter. We'll be back next week with more practical advice to help you grow your business. See you next time.